It's a wild week when I actually get to talk about comic books. Holy crap. And not in like the, oh my gosh, Max Visaggio is transing a superhero. We're actually talking about real comics, and it's kind of fun. And of course, Literature Devil has gone viral, mega viral, just based on his hot takes on Watchmen over the last couple of days. It's been really fun to watch. He's a great channel. And of course, great guy too. He's got his own books, which are fantastic. And of course, the guy knows his stuff about literature. He knows his stuff about storytelling. So it's made his channel great. I don't know if you've seen that channel. Definitely go check out Literature Devil if you've not already. Now, this story went nuts because people wanted to talk about Alan Moore's Watchmen and then, of course, throw their 2 cents in. And of course, all the little wokeites went out there and said his hot take was wrong. Terribly wrong, you Nazi. They literally called him a Nazi over what he thought about Watchmen. Hilarious. And we talked to him about this. And what happened is, of course, we run the Fandom Pulse here, and I'm the editor-in-chief of that. And so I asked him to write up his thoughts on Watchmen and the character of Rorschach specifically. And he wrote a beautiful essay this morning that's on the website. We're going to highlight it a little bit, put the link in the description below for you, and show you the controversy that Literature Devil caused over a non-controversy, which is a lot of fun on the internet right here. My name's John Delarose. If you're new to the channel, welcome everybody. And of course, this is my subscribe star. If you want to support the Fandom Pulse, want to support what we're doing here, want to support our alternative to the mainstream media, come on here. We are making comic books, and of course, the goal is to get to a point where this sustains the art as to where we can make monthly books. I really think it's important to make monthly books to compete with Marvel and DC. That's something not a lot of people in our spaces are trying to do, and so we're aiming to be different in that regard. I've done it before too, by the way. So a couple years ago, I didn't have much following. I was putting out monthly books, and I was doing it via Amazon, and I was just showing I could do it. Really, I was like, hey, I'm a writer who can really accomplish something here as a mainstream alternative. And, they kind of died on the vine, didn't have a following. It turns out you need a following in order to, of course, get things going. We've got that now. We just need you guys to come in on here and come in hard. And of course, this will support everything we're doing. So please check that out. That's in the description below. I've got my bookstore on my channel, of course, as well. And I appreciate all you guys who read the books. You are the most important people out there. So let's check out what Literature Devil's got going today. Really interesting stuff. So here it is. If you don't understand the why Watchmen's Rorschach is beloved and an actual true hero of Watchmen, then you've missed the point of heroes. Now, when he said this, he just got so much flack. The quote tweets, the angry, like I said, they were calling him Nazi over and over again. But it's just Watchmen. It's just a comic book. Now, Alan Moore, of course, is a shitlib. He's a commie weirdo. And of course, the guy, is just burnt out of his mind at this juncture. If you look at what he's done, he actually doesn't like what Watchmen did to the industry. He's like repented about it over the years. When he made his like Tom Strong and Top 10 later on, he was actively trying to stop what he caused, which was just like the making the heroes into these like narcissistic people with lots of problems. And that's really caused waves in the industry and really destroyed the industry over the years when people tried to copy this. So that's the case here. Rorschach's meant to be kind of a dude who's like, no mercy, strike first, no mercy, Cobra Kai. And he's kind of, because of that, he's really comes across as too much of a vigilante that kind of goes too far a lot of the times. But if you look at the whole story of Watchmen, like, he's the only one that actually accomplishes anything. He's the only one that actually holds to a moral code that's, like, objective. And that comes from the character's, of course, origins. Now, if you guys don't know where this all came from, Alan Moore actually just wanted to take DC's Charlton Heroes. Charlton was a company in the 60s. DC acquired that company. They had a lot of superheroes themselves. Steve Ditko, of course, created a lot of these heroes. And he's the guy who created Spider-Man. And he created a character called the Question. Now, Alan Moore wanted to use the Question, and Rorschach then became the ape of the Question. If you look at some of the other characters, like there's differences there. There's Captain Adam's allegory, and then there's of course the Blue Beetle's allegory also, and that's kind of where Watchmen began. That's the case here. And so Alan Moore, of course, when he took them and was not allowed to actually use those characters by DC Comics, and he just made his own out of continuity and just did their thing where everybody's just like kind of a shitbag, good or bad, everybody's on that front. Now, unfortunately, because Alan Moore like viewed Rorschach as a right-wing kind of guy, because Steve Ditko really was a right-wing kind of guy. If you look at what he did with the question, Mr. A, it's got the same ethos as Rorschach. They're very objective. There's good, there's evil. If there's evil, we have to purge it. It doesn't, and it shocked people when Steve Ditko came out with this in the 70s. Mr. A would just take the villains, and the villains would be like hanging from a rooftop, like almost dying, like hanging from their fingers, and begging Mr. A to rescue them like he rescued everybody else, because, the heroes just save people's lives no matter what. And Mr. A would just stand there and go, you're evil. I'm not going to lift a finger for you, and walk away while the guy fell to his death. And that was shocking to people. But if, why would you save evil? Why would you work for evil? Why would you preserve life at all costs? I mean, if you look at the way Batman is these days, and the way heroes are these days, they have no morals at all, except for I'm not going to kill regardless. And so, of course, the Joker slaughters thousands of people, but Batman goes, you know what? I'm not going to kill Joker. And it's retarded at the end of the day. Rorschach doesn't have that problem. And so Literature Devil really lays it out here, where Rorschach does the good work and actually is the one person in Watchmen who successfully becomes a superhero and accomplishes things. The rest of the Watchmen kind of don't accomplish things and get quite the opposite, just get depressed and angry and eventually corrupt, whereas Rorschach really just stays on the course the entire time. Really interesting article right here. And of course, Literature Devil explains it way better than I could. He writes a beautiful essay here, which I'm going to link in the description below. And it triggered people just hearing this. And it's really funny how it triggered people hearing this as well. So I'd love for you to read this essay. Like I said, I'm going to link it. And this is, we're just kind of discussing it right now. And really appreciate Literature Devil for contributing to Fandom Pulse. Make sure to bookmark Fandom Pulse so that you can get some of this awesome content that we produce all the time. The written content's really important these days because society's being way dumbed down to the point where they don't understand what a hero and villain is anymore. We're really at that point, and we need to correct that. The way to correct that, of course, is reading. Reading's very important for development on that level. So please make sure to bookmark this. Check it out. Read the article on what Literature Devil thinks of Rorschach being a hero. Really appreciate you guys being there, and we'll be back soon.